Hey, what's good, you guys? Welcome back to BTM, the Basketball Time Machine, your show with former NBA players about former NBA players. Before we get to today's guest, just a little reminder, if you want to hear more podcasts like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the notifications button so you always get notified once we upload a new podcast. All right, today's guest is a very special guest, one of the best players of the 1980s, Michael Ray Richardson. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Happy to be here. Hope things are going well for you.
Thank you, Michael. I always start off with the first question. Who was your favorite player as a kid?
My favorite player was Dr. J. Julius Erving.
Okay. How come?
Well, because he was the most exciting player at that time. We had a professional ABA team in Colorado. So they used to fly in town and play the Denver Rockets. And so I used to watch a lot of the ABA games.
All right, nice. But you actually played against him later on, right?
I actually played against him. Yes, I did.
Did you ever tell him?
Yes, I did.
You remember his response?
He was just saying, well, I had the best one.
Who introduced you to the game of basketball?
A guy by the name of Donald Wilson. He was my elementary principal. And one day we were outside doing recess, and we were playing basketball outside court. And he asked me if I wanted to come in and try out for the team because I had great basketball fundamentals. And I told him yes. And after that, the ride was on.
So you were drafted in 1978 by the New York Knicks with the 4th pick overall. Do you remember the day? Do you remember what it felt like, just the experience of actually being drafted? Can you take me through the process?
I mean, it was probably one of the best days of my life because I had worked so hard. And I was able to fulfill my dreams. So it was really, really exciting.
So in your rookie season, you played with some, of the all-time greats, Earl DePerre Monroe, Spencer Haywood, and those guys. How was it for you playing with such great players in your rookie season, but also, on the other hand, not receiving as much playing time because you had so many great teammates?
Well, I mean, it was a great experience to, play against guys that I had saw on TV, guys that I had heard about, and just to be on the same court in the same gym with those guys was just unbelievable. I understood that the coach I had, he didn't believe in playing rookies, so I had to just earn my way in.
Okay, but in hindsight, do you think it's the right way to deal with rookies, that they actually have to earn the minutes?
Well, at that time, yes. I mean, we had a lot of veteran guys that was there before me, the guys that has paid their dues. So I just had to, earn my time.
So your second season was your coming out. You were putting up crazy numbers. I think you averaged something like 15 points, 10.5 assists, 6.4 rebounds, 3.2 steals. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think you were only the 3rd player in NBA history who was leading in assists and steals at the same time. Is that right?
Yes. I mean, it was just... it was a great accomplishment. I mean, I came in my second year. I was given the opportunity to play, and I was getting the minutes, and so I was able to fulfill my dream.
Okay, I'm just curious. Did you do something else or something different in the off season? Did you change your practicing habits, your mental game, your daily practice routines, or how do you explain that increase in numbers?
Well, what was different was the difference was that I didn't play my first year, so I was kind of angry, but not angry at the coach, but angry because I wasn't playing. So I said to myself, when the season's over, I'm going to make sure that I don't get out of shape. I'm just going to play ball every day until our next training camp, and then I'm going to go in there and I'm going to take me a job. And that's what I did.
All right, Michael. Your playing style was just so much fun to watch, and many people compared you to Magic Johnson, which is funny because Magic Johnson actually said in an interview that he hated playing against you because he was always worried. Isaiah Thomas actually said the same thing. So I would like to know, what does it feel like knowing that two of the best players who ever played the game actually admit that they were worried playing against you?
But what I did was when I played against guys like Magic, Isaiah, guys that had all the hype, in college,
in pros, it gave me extra incentive to just go out and play, that much harder. So when I played those guys, I accepted the challenge.
Yes, indeed. Michael, do me a favor. One of your best friends who's actually been a guest on my show, a friend of your playing days, is Otis Birdsong, one of the great players from the 1980s. And do me a favor and tell the younger listeners, especially the younger listeners, that Otis was the real deal, because there were so many great players in the 1980s who just got overlooked, which is a shame because, the 80s were loaded with great players, and Otis definitely belongs in that category. So please tell the younger listeners, how good actually Otis Birdsong was.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the shooters now, guys getting 30 shots, averaging 25 points. Otis got maybe 13 or 14 shots, and he averaged the same amount of points. Otis shot 52% for the career at the 2-point line. If he was getting 25 and 30 shots in his day game, Otis probably would be averaging about 40. He was an unbelievable shooter.
In the 1980-1981 season, you have a great season, and the Knicks actually make the playoffs. You played 40 minutes a game throughout the entire season, and I'm just curious, was that never too much for your body to take? Because especially in comparison to today's players, where I just have to feel like after playing 10 minutes, the guys already have ice bags on their knees and stuff. Nobody in today's game plays 40 minutes a game, but I would just like to know, how did your body actually take that beating, because the 80s were also so physical? How did your body respond to that heavy minutes?
I mean, I think it was a different game and different mentality. I mean, the guys here and now, they make so much money, and it's like given to them. But back when I played, it was less money, but the money that we made, we had to earn. So we wanted to play a lot. So it was a big, big difference.
The next seasons you were going through, let's call it personal crisis, and which also affected your playing style. But you were actually beating the odds, returning after failed rehab. Everybody counted you out, but you actually made it back and performed like nothing ever happened. And you were actually voted the comeback of the year player. How much did that mean to you? Actually, everybody counting you out, but you just defeated the odds and you still made it, performed on a high level. How much did it mean to you?
I mean, it was unbelievable, because I put myself in an unpredictable situation, so I knew I was the only one that could get myself out. So I knew I had the potential. I just had to go out and do it.
Michael, you played in the NBA from 1978 until 1986, which isn't too long, but in that short period, you actually accomplished more than 90% of the guys who play even longer than 10 years. I mean, you were a 4-time NBA All-Star, 3-time NBA Steals leader, 3-time All-Defense team, assist leader. Basically, you won as an individual almost everything you can win. Is it fair to say that you were, in your prime, one of the best players who ever played, an all-time great?
I mean, I wouldn't even say. Of course, it's a true statement. I mean, there's guys that has played in the league 14, 15 years that has never made the All-Star team. So what I did in the 8 years, some guys haven't did it in 15 years.
So in the late 80s, when you left the NBA, you actually played in Europe. I'm just curious, do you still follow the NBA, or were there different things on your mind playing in Europe?
I mean, I was following it, but really, I was concerned about what I was doing and trying to win over in Italy.
Wow, that actually surprised me. So you didn't watch the Bad Boy Pistons in the late 80s? You completely...
No.
Oh,
I mean, my concern was for us to try to win an Italian championship.
If I take a look at your entire basketball lifespan, you did so many things. I mean, you were an NBA player, you played in the CBA, you played in Europe, you were a coach in the CBA, you were coaching in Europe. You basically did everything that basketball can offer. I would like to know, what was the thing that gave you the most joy? I mean, what was the thing that you actually got the most joy out of?
The thing was most joy was when I started coaching and was able to win 5 championships on 3 different teams. I mean, it's a great accomplishment because every year you have different players. So it's a job trying to get these players to play together.
Interesting. So, are you missing coaching at the moment?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I would like to try to get over to Europe and do some coaching because I think I got a lot to offer. I mean, I've put in some contacts, in Germany, in Italy, and France, but just haven't really got any great feedback. I mean, I think I would have a lot to offer to the game.
Okay, so this is a shout out to all your European basketball executives. Michael will be glad to listen to your opportunities. 2 more questions, Michael. Do you remember the first time that you actually saw a poster or a trading card of yourself?
Oh, yeah. I mean, even to this day, I think I have about 195 cards of myself. I think it's just unbelievable where you can just let the dream come true,
Nice. Over 100. So you got quite a collection. Wow. All right.
Yeah, I do.
Last question is a little bit off topic, but I'm just curious. In the 1980s, what music tape do you play in your Walkman? Or not what tape, but what was your favorite tape back in the days in the 1980s that you loved to listen to?
The favorite music tape back in my own was The Temptations and Marvin Gaye, What's Going On.
All right, that man has some serious taste in music. Michael, it was great to have you on the show. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. It was an honor, and all the best to you, my friend.